Megaman X4 is the worst in the series. It has the most terrible, forgettable music. It's just so bland and generic, and I can't believe people are praising this for being the best in the series. I was speculating on whether X7 was worse, but also I think X4 is worse because X7 has the problem with gameplay being too slow, and yes, it is a problem, and I can see why people put it as the worst in the series. But X4 just does nothing for the game. It's just put in something that we've done before and add a story to it. And this is the whole thing with Sony fanboys is they have to have some lame ass story. It can't just be about interacting with the game, having fun with the game. No, it has to follow some lame story or something. And this is the perfect example of why X4 is terrible because the music is trash. It's horrible. Like take any other X game in the series and it has really cool, amazing metal music. Like any game, any X game in the series, it doesn't matter what, they are awesome when it comes to music. X4 is the only one that has terrible, horrendous music because oh, it has to follow the story. Like it sucks. Like say what you want about X5 in terms of the text things would interrupt you, but at least they got the lore right. Like you're in a base, you're catching Mavericks. Like that's it. It's not about it's about the horror wars. Like there are better formula to make that story. The X is not one of them. Like he's a pacifist, yes, and I think X8 kind of did it better. I mean, maybe became sort of a wimp at the end with the Luminate thing, but he was more or less kind of idealized thing that he has to do a job even if he hates it. It kind of makes sense. Um, I guess more in terms of guy who responds to duty but kind of looks for the other way, to a pacifist, and that makes sense in terms of writing a character. Um, but with X4, they just ham the story so much. It's so stupid. Like, okay, you're in an organization catching Mavericks. Like, what do you expect? X5 did the story way better, and X6 I consider just perfection. I like X6. It's the top down. I consider it like the best Japanese video game ever made in my view. That's how high I rate X6. And if you don't like it, then you're just a nerd. Like you just hate fun. I think if you don't like Mega Man X6, like the only problem is the enemy placement. Okay, that's a little bit unfair sometimes. I can get that, but it's outside of it, it's just a perfect game in my view. Um, so X4 is just terrible because the music selection is just about following a generic story. It does nothing for the game. It doesn't advance the game. It's hands down the recipe of a terrible game, and I hate people who praise this as a good game design. No, it's not. It doesn't follow game design. It follows B movie design for a game. It's trash. Like this is why we can't have good games. This is why every time with the PlayStation 5 or something, they have this sad dead movie simulator or some boring jank instead of game design. This is why we get this stuff because these fanboys who play games apparently instead of watching movies, they want this stuff. Like they just don't want a game to evolve. Like in a game, you're having fun interacting with stuff, solving puzzles. Like that's what a game is supposed to be about. You're supposed to interact with the game and have fun on what you do in a game. If you want to watch a movie or read a book, then do that. Don't bring that into the game world. Like you're not respecting the gaming formula if you just treat it like it's a storybook. Like if at best, if you want that, you should just go read a visual novel. Like I don't count visual novel as game either way, so I have nothing against visual novels. It's not my type of thing, but it's at least digital comics. It at least isn't pretending to be a game. Like that's the difference here. So yeah, Mega Man X4, hands down, the worst in the series. I love X games, but X4 can just sploosh off in my view. I hate that game. And it doesn't matter whether you have a Japanese voice actor or English, it's just a terrible game design. Because it just tried to pave away for the story and not the game design. That's why I hate it. So yeah, if you like X4, then I think you're just wrong. And feel free to agree or disagree. And thank you for listening and bye.